Okay, so we are staying on the Iberian Peninsula for our next football club history video, and we're going to Portugal, and we're looking at the oldest club in Portugal, Academica de Coimbra. They play at the Estadio Cidade de Coimbra, which has a capacity of 29,622, which is actually owned by the city, so they pay their rent to the local government. The club itself, founded on the 3rd of November 1887. They are the oldest club in Portugal, but it's actually a merger of two distinct student bodies. So the Club Atlético student body was founded in 1861, but the Academia Dramatica Society was founded in 1837. So the true origin of this story goes back to 1837. This club is older than most English and Scottish football clubs. So one of the oldest football clubs in existence is Academica de Coimbra. Now, they're currently in Liga 3, which is the Portuguese third division. They've hit some very hard times, which we will discuss in a moment. Their highest ever league finish, considering that they are the oldest club in Portugal, never won the league. They finished second in the 66-67 season. But there was a certain club called Benfica at the time, which had the greatest player in the world at the time, Eusebio, who were dominating European and Portuguese football. So to finish second to them, that's not a bad thing. Any other season they would have won the league title had it not been for the greatest Benfica side of all time. The highest ever league finished second, so they've never won the league. Now, on the 4th of November 2017, they joined a very exclusive club, the Club of Pioneers. Now, Sheffield FC are the founding member of the Club of Pioneers. Basically, to be allowed to join the Club of Pioneers, you have to be an active club that's been active since foundation. That is the oldest active club in your country. There are some certain loopholes around that, because you could have play suspended due to war or financial difficulties or insolvency, but basically the club has to exist as it has done since it was founded. They were allowed entry on the 4th of November 2017 as the oldest club in Portugal in continuous existence. Now, the tough times. So at the end of the 2021-2022 season, they were relegated to the Portuguese third tier for the first time. They've had some spells yo-yoing between the top flight and the second tier, but at the end of the 2021-2022 season, they ended up in the third tier for the first time. The following season, they filed for insolvency. They had debts of around 5.6 million euros, which doesn't sound massive, but actually in Portuguese football, that kind of debt outside of a couple of clubs is ruinous. 5.6 million euro debt, of which 1.9 million was owed to the state of Portugal and 3.1 million owed to private creditors. It took a good 9 months for them to come out of their insolvency proceedings and exit bankruptcy. They narrowly avoided going out of business altogether. Narrowly avoided, which is it's stunning. But you look at the state of football finances, they are in a mess. And Academica de Coimbra, oldest club in Portugal, solid fan base, regularly sell out the stadium, etc. Even a well-established club that's seen everything in Portuguese social history, from the monarchy to the Salazar Revolution to the Carnation Revolution when democracy is restored, and this club has weathered everything that Portuguese history and society's thrown at it. To nearly go bankrupt a couple of years ago just shows that even a club of its history and standing within the game, as being a member of the Club of Pioneers, is not immune from financial difficulties. So when we're talking about football finances and UEFA's new spending rules and whether they're right or wrong and the direction football's taking, you have to think that it doesn't matter what level and what league, well-established clubs that are integral to the game in their domestic leagues are up against the wall, as are Academica de Coimbra. Now, moving on from that dark moment, because they are in a bit of having their struggles, but they've exited bankruptcy. Hopefully they work their way back up the divisions and end up back in the Primera division sooner rather than later. The records are quite interesting. So the appearance record is held by Pedro Rocha, 455 appearances between 1986 and 2004. And the goals record is held by a guy called Bentes, 167 goals between 1945 and 1960. I can see the goals record potentially disappearing. Appearance record? Who knows? With the club's finances and the fact that if they have any good players coming through, a bigger club is gonna scoop them up. Those records might stand the test of time. The appearance record, with the way modern football works, as I say, with the club's finances, any decent young prospect coming through that club is going to get snapped up by a bigger club in Portugal, Spain, or across Europe. The goals record, again, unless in the lower divisions they have a goal scorer who can really bang them in the third and second tiers, I think Bentesh's record is going to stand for a good time. Their honours, they've won the Taca de Portugal, which is the Portuguese Cup, twice, the 1938-39 season, and most recently in 2011-2012 season. So they have had recent success within the last 15 years, although where they currently are, they're not going to win trophies anytime soon. It'd be just nice to see them back in the top flight Portuguese football sooner rather than later. I think it's a benefit to the Portuguese game that they do make it back into the upper echelons of the Portuguese game, just for the health of the league, basically. It's not the most competitive league. Only a handful of clubs have ever won the league title, and it would be nice to see Academica de Coimbra back in the top flight for just the benefit of the Portuguese game, honestly. It's one of the least competitive leagues when it comes to league honours, but they have won two Taca de Portugals, which in the Portuguese league, which is not the most competitive when it comes to distribution of silverware. That's a fair achievement, and they do have a very solid fan base. Plus, Coimbra is not Porto or Lisbon, so that is also important that they are a regional club from Portugal, not from one of the two big cities. I think that's very, very important as well for the Portuguese game. That a club from a regional town or a smaller regional city of Coimbra has that kind of, I wouldn't say lack of success, but some success, but also the history within the game. So there we go. There's a brief history of Academica de Coimbra, oldest club in Portugal, one of the oldest clubs in the world, a member of the Club of Pioneers. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Place your comments in the comment section below. I've been bugged to do this video for quite some time from my Portuguese viewers. It's now here. But from me for now, thank you very much for watching. I'll have some more content for you guys very, very soon.